Okay, good morning and thank you very much for joining us. Happy Democracy Day. I mean, we like celebrating things, and this is one of those more somber celebrations. 32 years on, coming from June 12, 1993. You know what that's all about, and here we are today, June 12, 2025. We thank God. And to talk about June 12, Democracy Day 2025. He's seen every one of those days. It's been 32 years now. Comrade Ayodele, public affairs commentator, and June 12 activist himself. Thank you very much for coming on, comrade.
Thank you for having me, sir.
This is a special day. June 12 is a special day. It always has been a special day. One of the questions we might explore a bit is that has Nigeria kept up with the spirit of June 12? Has Nigeria been true to the spirit of June 12? Or are there instances where June 12 itself could be looking and be saying that, I sort of expected a lot more from you guys? We look at that, but before that, we do have a package that has been put together around this August occasion of June 12. Let's look at that and we'll come back to studio and we'll have a chat.
MKO,
It was an election meant to usher Nigeria from the grip of military dictatorship into the light of civilian rule. Nigerians yearned for change, and that historic opportunity came on June 12, 1993.
MKO,
Anticipations was high across the nation. Many describe it as the freest and fairest election in Nigeria's history. And the candidate of the people was the Hope 93 flag bearer of the Social Democratic Party, Moshood Kashimawo Olawale Abiola. His name echoed from the lips of both young and old.
Abiola.
But the collective hope was crushed on the 24th of June, the day the election was annulled.
Was generally seen to be free, fair.
Nigerians flooded the streets in protest, demanding that the people's mandate be respected. The unrest spread across the nation. Many lives were lost, but the struggle did not waver.
And without let or hindrance, chose me as their president.
In defiance, MKO Abiola declared himself president in Lagos, an act that led to his arrest. He later died in detention in 1998, never returning home. June 12 etched itself into Nigeria's political history, a date symbolizing an election that produced a president who never ruled. For years, successive governments looked away until June 6, 2018, when former President Muhammadu Buhari officially declared June 12 as Democracy Day, replacing May 29.
May their souls rest in perfect peace.
32 years after the annulment that reshaped Nigeria's political trajectory, on February 20th, 2025, former head of state Ibrahim Babangida publicly apologized to Nigerians for his role in the annulment during the public unveiling of his book, A Journey in Service.
That accident of history is most regrettable.
This year marks another Democracy Day, 26 years of uninterrupted civilian rule. And the story of June 12 returns to the fore, with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, once a frontline pro-democracy activist, now Nigeria's president. He has rebranded Abiola's Hope 93 into his administration's renewed Hope 23 mantra. As the country continues its democratic journey, Nigerians reflect, some with pride, others with questions.
I am in support, 100% in support of the move to change from May 29 to June 12. But that's not actually the thing. The citizens are quite not so happy with the democracy yet, and it's a good improvement. It's a way to honor those that fought for this, the democracy, especially MKO Abiola. But still, we still need something to be done with our resources.
Sincerity of purpose from every leaders, everyone that call themselves leaders, every parastatals, sincerity of purpose. Let's come together and let's sit together, talk, let's be frank with ourselves and move this country forward.
Political scientist Professor Ayodele of the University of Lagos offers a critical perspective on the celebration of June 12 as Democracy Day.
I would have expected that June 12 remained June 12, a day that Nigerians, in spite of ethnicity and religion, decided to vote based on ideology. I would have called that electoral success day. Because democracy is not election. No. What June 12 represented was a fair, free election.
It draws a line between democracy as a process and governance as its outcome.
We were not even developed, let alone getting to the high level, before we adopted democracy. And I tell you, whether you like it or not, when you are not developed before getting into democracy, very few things you'll be able to get done. Because where everybody has opinion, where everybody has to speak, nobody has opinion and nobody is speaking. That is the dilemma of Nigeria and many parts of Africa. Therefore, I reassert that in terms of governance, we are much below 35%. And
Okay, there some opinions going there. Well, that Professor Ayodele Isuola, he's a frequent guest on the program as well. He's a political scientist. You know, along the lines that he was thinking, I thought I might ask you the same question. Look, how would you evaluate more than 3 decades later on, 32 years in fact, have we been true to the spirit of June 12, or has, because look, MKO Abiola, he gave his all for June 12, and not just him, because there were other agitators, you know, soldiers in the trenches. You heard IBB say whatever it is he said. I think he said, among other things, that mistake or that whole misadventure, whatever, he was taking full responsibility. Do you think we've sort of stuck with the idea and the gains of June 12? Have we stabilized on it, or have we indeed even gone back a bit from the promise of June 12? Here we are now. You know, what would be your assessment?
Well, thank you once again for having me on your program. And from my standpoint, June 12 is about the people. Abiola, late Chief MKO Abiola, was the symbol of June 12. June 12 is about the resilience, the hope, and the aspiration of the Nigerian people. What they envisage Nigeria to be, especially right from when we gain independence, on how we should be governed and how our leaders should also pilot the affairs of state. June 12 is not just about the voting. The voting is an integral of the totality of what June 12 represents to the Nigerian people. The voting process is key, is the first towards achieving the dreams and aspirations of our people. And our aspiration is, one, is to have good governance, to have even equal development across the geopolitical zone, to have self-development that will lead us to self-realization of who we truly are in accordance to our own individual ability and peculiarity. As we also are located to each geopolitical place in this country. It's about freedom of rights. It's about security of life and property. And most importantly, education for all. An educated people, it's a very strong tool to building the country, especially putting the building blocks together. Those are part of the synchronal of the building block of the June 12. Yes, ever since we've moved on in 1999, there has been some twists here and there. There have been a lot of wastages, especially from bad past government, where we had the opportunity to have transformed our pains to gains, especially in the energy and infrastructure and public power sector, which would have led to individual strength to build their future on how they perceive it or how they aspire to be, not just waiting for government to build their future for them. Take, for instance, your edifice. You are a private sector-driven media corporation. You are building it in accordance to your vision and your ability and the resources that you can put together to build such. It should also sink down to every individual Nigerians to build in accordance to whatever they want to, to envision as a person. But over time, we've envisioned some wastages in government. We've envisioned some misplacement of priorities and all that, to the extent that we mistake welfareism, you understand, for purposeful, building of society.
Doesn't that have to do with